Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to France, where we will be bringing you live coverage of our ninth race in Bette Jalle Season 8 here at the Circuit de Paul Richard, or Paul Richard, depending on, where in the world you're from. But happy to have all of you here, and I certainly hope that you enjoy the race today, as it should be a lot of fun. Come into this race here in France with Greeny retaking his spot at the top of the table. This is his first time at the top of the table since our fourth race of the season. He is currently sitting in first place with 124 points. Paul Ricard is apparently the pronunciation, being corrected by my engineer in the booth. As we get underway here and wait for these racers to hit the track to set some qualifying times. In second place in the table is Vapor Cobalt with 118 points. Big Baguette in fourth with 95. Let's Get Fiscal has been hanging in there in fourth place with 83 points. And Vapor Trench rounds out our top five with 77 points. Vapor Trench will be gracing us with his presence this week. It was up in the air before the race, but it looks like he is indeed going to be here. Meanwhile, let's hop down to Vapor Cobalt, who's going to be setting our first hot lap. We'll kind of jump in the cockpit with him as we wait for him to finish his out lap. And I will tell you guys a little bit about this track as he goes around on that hot lap. Vapor Cobalt, of course, came in second place last week with a very excellent finish for him. Kind of cemented his place at the top of the table, especially with the DNF of Big Baguette. He now has jumped out to a 23-point lead in the table. Apparently we're having some mic issues. Let me see if I can sort that out. Alright, we'll see if that's any better. I'm sure my engineer will keep me apprised of my mic situation. Hopefully it has sorted itself out. If not, I will simply switch headsets with my partner. Not a problem. So we hop on board here as we see Vapor Cobalt begin his hot lap through this first section. A bit of a straight into turn 1, about a 90-degree left. Turn 2 is a bit of a right turn, not too hard on the brakes through that one. Turn 3 is a bit of a waggle into a right turn. 4 is going to be a hard left, and 5 is a just past 90-degree turn to the right. Coming up on turn 6, a looping right turn into a slight turn 7. No brakes through turn 7. This takes us to our first DRS zone and this back straight, which then brings us to turn 8. Which will be a left turn, turn 8, into a hard right turn, 9. Then a bit of a straight here. Definitely could see some passing happening between turns 9 and 10. Turn 10, of course, is going to be that hard right, but able to keep on the gas all the way through it. Turn 11 is going to be that 180 turn. Going to have to hit the brake just a little bit. Hope to not spin coming out of that turn. Turn 12 is going to be a past 90-degree left turn. 13 is just a bit of a looping right turn, not much to that one, which takes us into turn 14, looping left turn. And then turn 15, which is about a 135-degree right turn, which of course takes us to our home straight. And that, my friends, is the circuit de Paul Ricard. As we see Vapor Cobalt set a respectable minute and 29-second lap. We will have a dry qualifying and a dry race. Let's go ahead and hop on with Vichensky as he looks to set his qualifying time. Let's see what kind of effort Vichensky can offer here. We see him come down this back straight into turns 8 and 9. He's looking very, very good hopefully able to set a top 10 qualifying time is Vichenski. Right, and it seems like my mic issues have sorted themselves out, so do let me know in the chat if you guys are having any trouble hearing me, or if there's any static or static pop in the mic. I will do my best to keep it to a minimum if I can. As we see Vichenski round the last couple of turns, we'll see what kind of effort he's put in for us as he comes down the home straight. It looks like he's going to be setting a very respectable minute and 29 seconds, just over by about 0.3 of a second. Very nice for him. Meanwhile, Big Baguette has set a minute and 42 seconds, very unlike Big Baguette. Immediately gets back into it with a second hot lap following the first. Big Baguette, a very consistent driver. We'll have to sit here with him through this hot lap and see what he can do. So he does have a bit of gas issue. We'll have to see if he's got enough to get through this lap. Big Baguette, as I said, very much absolutely consistent week in, week out. In fact, it was only 2 weeks ago at the Baku City Circuit that Big Baguette finished for the first time this season outside the top 5, and that was only a 6th place finish, so still very consistent from him. Unfortunately, that consistency did waver a little bit last week in Canada, as we saw Big Baguette DNF for the first time this season. Hopefully, just a momentary lapse for him, and it won't affect him coming in. A much better lap for Big Baguette here. We'll move him all the way up to 2nd place. So that's more like what we're used to seeing from a driver with Big Baguette's capabilities. Meanwhile, Greeny has moved up to be pole position here. Excellent work for Greeny. Being the only driver to break a minute 28. It looks like we have less than 1/10 of a second separating Big Baguette to Justice. Vapor Cobalt, meanwhile, has slid back to 4th place. His pal, Vapor Trench, is about 1/10 of a second behind Vapor Cobalt. Red Sniper sets a very nice time for 6th. Worried Cloud for 7th. Vichenski for 8th. Wooly for 9th, and Gourlay for 10th. Let's Get Fiscal, a rare quality that sets him outside the top 10. We'll look to see him set another lap here momentarily and see if he can break into that top 10. Let's Get Fiscal is currently 4th in the table, so we certainly expect a better qualifying time from him. Let's look for a hot lap here. Let's see, maybe hop on with Wooly. Wooly, this is, I believe, my first time seeing Wooly race here in Bette, Jalle, so I'm very excited to see what he has to offer. Let's Get Fiscal is out on another out lap. We will follow along with that as he finishes his out lap. KJ, meanwhile, has had his lap invalidated, and Big Baguette looks like he is just getting into the pits. So we'll hop on with Let's Get Fiscal as he looks to finish this out lap and get into his hot lap. Something that really sets this French circuit apart from many others in the course of the Grand Prix is this circuit has really large runoff areas, which means we shouldn't see as many, if any, DNFs into a wall, as it would be really difficult to hit a wall in this circuit. So it seems likely that still able to spin out, still able to exceed track limits, no problem, but the walls are definitely very far back, and it makes this track maybe a little less challenging, and you can be a little bit more aggressive as, worst case scenario, you're not going to go into a wall, you might exceed track limits or be run off the track, but you can afford to be a little bit more aggressive without having to worry about putting something into the wall. As we hop on for Let's Get Fiscal's hot lap, we'll see what he can offer. We'll hide all of the UI just so you can really enjoy Let's Get Fiscal's prowess on the track as we see him take turn 4, no problem, into turn 5. He gets a really nice exit out of turn 6. He's going to be full on the gas here through turn 7. Very nice work from him. This is our first DRS zone here through this back straight. We'll see a very nice top speed from Let's Get Fiscal. And into turn 8, immediately turn 9 to the right. Fiscal doing some excellent work. Fiscal, of course, was back in the top 5 last week with a 3rd place finish after not getting any points at the Baku City circuit. He came back with a bit of a vengeance last week in Azerbaijan and earned a 3rd place finish. So certainly Let's Get Fiscal is the man to watch. He finished 4th on this track last season, so you know, he definitely knows the track well. I was talking to him before the race, and he seems to really enjoy this particular track, despite the hate that it gets from a lot of other drivers. It does not receive that kind of dislike from Let's Get Fiscal, as it looks like he's going to set a little bit better than his first time. He will barely slip into the top 10 here, so we'll have to see what he can do in the race proper. It looks like he's just going to try to get right back into another hot lap to see if he can set a better time still. He's going to have to get past 3 drivers on outlaps ahead of him, so hopefully they will not cause any problems for him on his hot lap here. Meanwhile, Multi has set a time of 1:30, just over 6/10. As we see, doesn't look like Fisk is really trying to pull in much of a lap here. So we will switch away and find ourselves a driver trying for a hot lap in earnest with Wooly. Again, I've not seen Wooly race before, so not entirely sure what to expect from him. Should be fun. I genuinely don't know, as he sets a purple lap there in Sector 2, purple sector I should say, in Sector 2. Oh, as we see him spin, and he'll do a little bit of a track reset. That's okay in qualifying. Certainly don't want to see him do that in the race. As we see him spin out, let's see, that would have been turn, looks like he lost it coming out of turn 10. That was that looping right turn that I had warned could definitely send you if you weren't ready for it, and you could kind of overcompensate on that turn. Let's hop on with Trulson. You know, Trulson is certainly a driver that always seems like on the cusp of those top 5 finishes. Has turned in a couple this season. Just waiting for Trulson to turn the corner and really give us a solid finish. Meanwhile, talk a little bit about Elian Bayon, one of my favorite drivers to watch. Elian's kind of turned it on these last 2 weeks. The couple weeks ago at the Baku City circuit, he turned in a 3rd place finish, which I know he was very happy with, to earn a podium and some good points. And then last week in Canada, 6th place. So excellent job for Elian, who's slid all the way up to 8th place in the table with 38 points. He was well out of the top 10 2 weeks ago. Now currently sitting with 38 points, so good work from him. Certainly. Up on here with Gourlay, who also could use some points. Currently only 1 point, has had 1 10th place finish, and that's been his only finish inside the top 10 this season. Currently looks like he's going to qualify. That will actually move him up quite a bit. Excellent lap from Gourlay, up to 9th place now. Very nice work from Gourlay. I'm sure he'll probably be happy with that time, as that slots him ahead of Vichensky, slots him ahead of Multi, Worried Cloud Wooly, and Let's Get Fiscal, who's now back in 14th. Now, these qualifying times, for the most part, are all really close together. Greeny, of course, with his incredible pace, has set a time almost a full half-second faster than our 2nd place driver. But between 2nd and... let's see, between 2nd and 8th, we have a difference of about half a second, and then between 9th and 17th, we have a difference of about 9/10 of a second. So it's very, very close on these qualifying laps from these drivers. Let's see what KJ can offer here as he comes out of Sector 2. Let's see if he can move up maybe just a little bit. as he's coming up to that tricky turn 10 here. Let's see how he handles it. Excellent work from him. No problems whatsoever. Into turn 11. Ooh, exceeds the track limits quite a bit there. Doesn't invalidate the lap somehow, but certainly not what he wanted. And I don't think we're going to get much of an improvement, if any, on this lap from KJ as he looks to round turns 14 and 15 into that home straight. He'll just head into the pits. Not exactly what he wanted on that hot lap. Word Cloud looks like he's out for one more try, as is Vapor Cobalt. Vapor Cobalt, of course, in second place in the table with 118 points. Only back from Greeny by a margin of 6 points. This was very much a three-way race at the top of the table a week ago with Big Baguette's DNF. However, it's moved him back to 95 points, moving him back about 29 points back from the lead. So Big Baguette's hoping to make something happen here to be able to catch back up. A little bit more about Greeny's impressive pace, which, I've mentioned, as Big Baguette also breaks under that minute 28. Still going to be in second place, but excellent work from him. Anyway, going back to Greeny, he started last week in Canada at the back of the grid. He was serving a qualifying ban, so he started in last place in that race, but against all odds, came back to get the win in Canada, and he continues his incredible last 3 weeks where he's finished first place, second place at Baku, and then first place last week in Canada. So Greeny has certainly found his groove after opening the season very, very strongly. It seems like he's really figured it out, and with the win on this track last year, certainly would be my favorite to take the win here in Paris and continue that incredible momentum he's shown. Certainly will be my driver to watch, and my early pick for who I think will take the checkered flag. Let me know down in the comments what you guys think, who you're rooting for, who you think the driver of the day might be. Any other maybe tidbits or pieces of information you'd like to share with me, do let me know down in the comments. Or if you just want to say hello, that's fine too. Say what's up in the chat. I'll give you a little shout out on stream. As we now see Vapor Cobalt coming up through turn 13 into 14. It looks like he's not going to quite be able to set a time to get himself past Big Baguette. Let's see if he takes off any time at all here. Yes, indeed, he does take off 0.2 of a second. That kind of slides him, keeps him in third place, but he did shave off a little bit of time. Increase the margin between himself and Worried Cloud. Worried Cloud is always an interesting driver to watch. He seems to show tremendous pace, yet still only 17 points in the table to show for it so far. With a what's up from one Raven Fleming. She says hello on the chat. She's listening live. Raven Fleming. Hopefully you enjoy the race today, Raven. And let me know who your pick is for the winner this week in France, in beautiful sunny France. We're going to have amazing weather here. It's a bit chilly, but the sun is shining, keeping us all warm. As qualifying has now ended, we wait for drivers to just finish their last hot laps. I think it's safe to say Greeny is going to secure pole position here in France. Big Baguette will secure that second place. Vapor Cobalt will be in third. Fourth place looks like it's going to be pretty easily Word Cloud, although Justice is going to have a go here. Let's see. I have a feeling he is setting a decent time. I just don't think it's going to be enough to move Justice past Word Cloud, but we'll keep an eye on it. Vapor Lazy with a very nice qualifying here in France, currently in 6th place. Red Sniper 7th, Vapor Trench 8th, a bit lower than I would have expected for Vapor Trench. Nicholas Volkman 9th, Multi RABC will be sitting in 10th. And Justice will slip ahead just narrowly from Worried Cloud as we look at the time difference between Vapor Lazy and Red Sniper, 3/1000ths of a second, 4/1000th of a second. Sorry about that. Very, very close between Vapor Lazy and Red Sniper. As our qualifying all but wraps up, it looks like Vapor Trench is going to have one more go at it, or he would have had his lap not been invalidated as we see him head into the pits. Not exactly what he wanted. I think that is leaves us all ready to go for the race itself. Raven Fleming's favorite pick of the day is Big Baguette. She's hoping for big things from Big Baguette. As I mentioned earlier, Big Baguette DNF'd last week, so certainly I'm sure Big Baguette would love a first place finish here and the 25 points. He could certainly use it, and with his qualifying time of 1 minute and 27 seconds and about 9/10ths of a second, he'll start in P2 with only one driver in front of him. So Big Baguette, you do have a fan watching today. Hopefully you will not let one Raven Fleming down. As we see our starting grid here, interesting to see Let's Get Fiscal and Elian both kind of slipped down a little lower than I would have thought in qualifying. Hopefully they can get it figured out for the race proper, as those are, two very fun drivers to watch. Both tend to be a little bit more on the conservative side, so we'll have to see if they can get their passes done in relatively short order. I'm sure that we'll see them using those maybe hard tires to hope for a later safety car and make up some positions when our top 10 pit on those soft tires. Now we see Isaac in the chat as well. What's up, Isaac? Hopefully you enjoy the race, and good luck to you, buddy. With the French bonjour, which in French, as we all know, means hola. So as I mentioned, we did have 8 DNFs last week in Canada, so 8 of our starting 20 did not cross the finish line last week. That is brutal, honestly, for lack of a better word. Hopefully we'll have a bit of a better finish here in France. And Vapor Trench, honestly, is my driver to watch out for. He really needs to get hot. He was right at the top of the leaderboard, as short as a few weeks ago. And then, has missed a couple of races and not gotten the finishes that he wanted in a couple of races. So he's hoping to turn in a better result. He's definitely a driver who has the pace to be in the top 2 or 3 week in, week out. So it should be definitely the driver I would say keep an eye on today, Vapor Trench. As we go through our formation lap here, these drivers are just warming up their tires. No passing in this formation lap. Just kind of getting those tires nice and warm and ready to go full sprint here once we finish this formation lap. Take a look at the tires. Again, our top 10 all staying on those softs that they qualified with. Outside the top 10, we have a Multi on mediums, Gourlay on mediums. Pachensky is going to keep the softs. KJ is going to go medium. Woolley's going to go medium. And as I predicted, Let's Get Fiscal on those hard tires. We'll be attempting to maybe do a hard to medium or even a hard to soft, depending on how far he pushes those hard tires. And if we get a safety car later on in the race, Elian's going to opt for the mediums, and Josh Smithness will also go for that medium tire composite. Now, for those of you that might not know, the tire composite that I was speaking to is how hard or soft the tire is. The harder the tire, the longer you can go without pitting. So those soft tires usually last about 8 or 9 laps when we'll see the pit window open, whereas with maybe the mediums you might be able to get up to 10 to 14 laps, and with the hards you could probably go about 18 or more laps before having to pit. as we see our drivers get sorted, we'll see what kind of start we get here in France. As we see those drivers slot in, we'll wait for the lights to turn on here in France with 1 red, 2 red, 3 red, 4 and 5, and the lights are off in France. And we are away, ladies and gentlemen. Let's see how these drivers handle these first couple of turns. Like I said, a lot of space here, so hopefully no contact. Looks good so far. Oh, a couple drivers have ran long. It looked like I saw Red Sniper was one of them. Definitely Justice loses a lot of positions there. He must have also run long. KJ, looks like he might have run a little long there. Definitely not the best bet. We're waiting here for our table to get back sorted. It's not currently correct. Big Baguette has passed Greeny though up at the front. So Big Baguette is our race leader through this first lap. As we see cars go 3 and sometimes 4 wide here in France, we'll certainly see that a lot as this is a very wide track. No danger of hitting the walls for the most part, so you can be very, very aggressive. As we come through here, we see again these drivers just going 3 and 4, sometimes 4 wide. As Red Sniper, I'm sure it might have a little bit of damage. Ooh, and we saw Let's Get Fiscal spin out and lose it. Oh no, that's not good for Let's Get Fiscal. Definitely not what he wanted to see. He's back on the track. Let's see what kind of damage we see. Might have just been a spin out. No, it does. Yeah, it does look like he's going to be okay. No wing damage, but definitely not what Let's Get Fiscal wanted as he's sent out on the track far outside of the legal limit. Meanwhile, Big Baguette has opened up almost a full second interval on Greeny with Vapor Cobalt in 3rd behind those folks. Word Cloud in 4th, Vapor Lazy early on in 5th. Vapor Trench has made up a few positions into 6th. Elian is into the pits, must have taken some damage, is going to throw on those hard tires. We'll see what he can do here. So we see Red Sniper, who was sent a little wide through the first couple of turns in lap 1. Looks like he's recovered nicely, so he'll join the middle of the pack. Biggest gap here is between Trulson and Vapor Trench. Besides that, we see gaps very, very tight, especially in this back of the pack, where we see Red Sniper 0.2 of a second behind Multi. We'll see if he can get a move done here on Multi as he looks to the outside, as Multi gives him plenty of room to get by. Excellent job from Red Sniper making that move. Let's see, anyone else about to make a move here? It seems like Multi is going to maybe think about tracking down Red Sniper. Nicholas Volkman is right on the back of Trulson. That's going to be something to keep an eye on, that fight. As we see Trulson head into the pits, probably fixing a little bit of damage, I'm sure, that he might have gotten from possible contact in that first lap. Meanwhile, Justice picked up a 3-second time penalty, and we see side-by-side between Justice and Wooly, as Justice will go on the outside of Wooly at the end of this home straight. Red Sniper has picked himself up a 3-second penalty. Not exactly ideal. Looks like he might have picked that up passing Gourlay. Certainly not what Red Sniper was looking for, as Worried Cloud also picks up a 3-second time penalty. Lots of time penalties here as we see drivers having trouble keeping it inside the track limits. It looks like Greeny has moved past Big Baguette. We'll take a visit here at the top of the grid with this battle between Greeny and Big Baguette. Let's see if Big Baguette can keep it close. Remember, Greeny has shown incredible pace at basically every track. So Greeny's going to definitely have his hands full trying to avoid letting Greeny expand any sort of lead and just try to keep him close. Meanwhile, we'll see Greeny do his best to pull away. And we see Justice DNF. I'm not sure what happened there. Let's see if we can get an eye on it, as it looks like Fiscal will be coming up to where that DNF was, and we will see a safety car that's good news for Let's Get Fiscal. I didn't quite see where that DNF happened. See if we can get eyes on it. Yeah, I'm not sure where Justice went into the wall. Would have been right back in that general area. So Justice will get the DNF after having a very good qualifying without much to show for it. And we'll see all of these drivers come in for the pits off of those soft tires, go ahead and put harder composite tires on and see just how long they can push that. Meanwhile, we see Let's Get Fiscal making the most out of the safety car by slotting all the way back up into 9th place. Honestly, I would say one of the big winners of the safety car. And now we will sit and wait to see what happens. Big Baguette also opted to pit, coming out in 7th. So Greeny stays out on the soft tires, as does Worried Cloud. Gourlay and Woolley, Josh Smith, and KJ all stay out on those medium tires, deciding not to pit, as Fiscal is the only other driver on the hard composites to not pit through this point. So we'll have to see if Greeny deciding to not pit under the safety car ends up being a mistake. I'm sure he'll certainly hope that it won't come back to bite him. Again, with the pace that Greeny can show, he'll look, I'm sure, to build up a bit of a gap through the couple of laps following the safety car on Worried Cloud, giving himself a bit of a cushion. Still a bit of a risky play here. We'll have to see if it pays off. Let's go ahead and, while we have a minute, pop into our friend the race director and take a look at penalties. We see Greeny's picked up a warning. Worried Cloud has picked up a penalty and a couple of warnings. Gourlay has 2 warnings. Woolley picked up a penalty on the first lap. Josh Smithness, nothing doing there. A couple warnings for KJ. Oof size big from Justice. Yeah, I would agree with that, buddy. I didn't quite catch what happened. I'm sorry if I just missed it on the stream, but really sad to see you hit that wall after a really solid qualifying from you. Definitely disappointing. Look forward to seeing you back on the track on Sunday. Let's see. No warnings, no penalties. Vapor Trench has picked up a couple of warnings. Let's see. Red Sniper did pick up that penalty. Trulson's clean so far. Vachensky's picked up a warning. Lazy's picked up a warning. Elian picked up 2 warnings. And Justice, of course, as we saw, went into off the track. I'm assuming into the wall, but I didn't quite see. As we have seen now, all of our drivers bunched back up. Certainly, I'd say that one of the big winners from that safety car would be Let's Get Fiscal, who opts to stay on the track with those hard tires. Moving all the way up to 9th after being spun out in lap 2 and losing lots and lots of positions. Now that we've looked at penalties, let's take a look and see what our position changes have been. Big winner would be Woolley, moving up 11 positions. Does have that 3-second penalty. Let's not forget. Josh Smithness, also excellent work from him, moving up 13 positions. KJ moving up 8 positions. And Let's Get Fiscal, despite the spin out, he still did excellent work, as we are going to get the restart here following this lap. We'll take more of a deep dive in that momentarily. Let's hop back over to tire, and the safety car will be coming out this lap. Greeny will look to get the best restart he can on those soft tires, try to maybe create a little bit of space between himself and Worried Cloud. Let's hop on board with Worried Cloud and see what kind of restart he can get, as Greeny does feint a pull away there, but backs off. I'm sure coming out of this next turn will probably be where Greeny looks to hit the gas through the straightaway. Yes, indeed, Greeny is away. Not exactly the best restart from Greeny, but good enough to maybe start a bit of separation. Worried Cloud does very well to see Greeny on that pull away, and he will do his best to keep it close as we see him really exceed track limits there. That'll definitely be good for a warning, and Gourlay picks up a 3-second time penalty off the restart. Looks like he might have also followed suit and exceeded behind Worried Cloud. Let's hop on with Big Baguette, who I'm sure will be looking to get a move done on Josh Smith sooner rather than later. He's going to have his chance here coming up through between turn 9 and turn 10. I think will be his opportunity to get a pass done on Josh Smith coming out of this turn here. Let's see if he looks to make a move. Not exactly the best exit I've ever seen from Big Baguette, but he will still look to the inside, maybe take a bit of a look. He's going to have to cut this corner. Oh, and Big Baguette, manages to keep it on the track. Definitely almost lost it a little bit there. He will indeed get this move done on Josh Smith, and it's good work from him. Meanwhile, Greeny has separated himself from Wooly to the tune of about a second. Worried Cloud, I should say, not Wooly. Big Baguette is chasing down Wooly. So it looks like the explanation here from Justice is he was overtaking Vescu, and he thought he had left place for another car beside. Unfortunately, the car he thought he left space for hit the rear, and Justice was sent spinning into the wall. Really appreciate that breakdown, Justice. It's very helpful for me, and I'm sure for our watchers as well. And once again, I apologize for the bad luck in this race, and I look forward to seeing you get right back to it on Sunday. Meanwhile, we see both KJ and Vapor Trench picking up 3-second penalties as Big Baguette joins this bit of a train behind Gourlay and Wooly, who are pretty close to Worried Cloud. Meanwhile, Greeny has done a really excellent job separating himself now to the tune of 2 seconds. We just saw Trulson pick up a penalty for 3 seconds. Also a bit of a competition with Let's Get Fiscal and Red Sniper. We might have to take a look at that here in a moment. Yeah, in fact, let's go ahead and take a peek at Let's Get Fiscal right on Red Sniper as he looks to chase down Red Sniper, who looks like he might have just gotten a pass done on Let's Get Fiscal moments ago. Both of these two drivers are on the hard tires. All right, let's hop back up to this train here with Gourlay, Wooly, and a Big Baguette. Vapor Cobalt looks like he's going to try to chase down this bit of a train here. And, of course, Vapor Trench never far behind either. Definitely a bit of a slowdown around that last turn 15 through this home straight. We will have DRS through this next lap now enabled. Big Baguette takes a look at the back of Wooly. Did well to not to avoid most contact. You see Gourlay, I'm not sure what happened there. It looks like he just got sent into the side wall. So, of course, the driver is back behind Gourlay. Will take advantage. As Gourlay does make it back on the track, we'll hop back up to Big Baguette, who's now been joined by Vapor Cobalt. Not too far behind at all. And through this section, Big Baguette will have the DRS. Red Sniper gets a 5-second penalty for ignoring the yellow flag. Bad luck, and a bad look there for Red Sniper. And we'll see if Big Baguette can get a move done as we see Wooly passing on the outside of Worried Cloud. Are we going to see Big Baguette also look to overtake? Worried Cloud really cuts the track there. Probably good for a warning, I would imagine. And we see Wooly losing it with contact from Worried Cloud. Worried Cloud, I don't think did anything wrong there. Might have been able to leave maybe a little bit more space, but I think he mostly did well to avoid contact, and Wooly just maybe cut it a little too close as he slides back now into 5th, and we see Big Baguette move up into 3rd, and Worried Cloud will head into the pits on those soft tires at the very beginning of this pit window. So Big Baguette is now tasked with chasing down Greeny. Greeny will have to be pitting, I would imagine, in the next couple of laps. So we'll keep an eye on when that happens. Meanwhile, it's still very, very close, honestly, all up and down this grid. Let's see if Trulson can get a move done here on Red Sniper. and maybe take a peek here through this back straight momentarily. As it looks like Vapor Lazy also intends to overtake his teammate. Let's Get Fiscal. Meanwhile, Trilson makes the most out of the DRS to easily get by Red Sniper. Excellent work for him. And Trilson will look to separate himself just a bit from Red Sniper. Meanwhile, Vapor Trench looks to chase down Nicholas Volkman. Nicholas Volkman's had a bit of a rough season, currently sitting at 23 points on the table. As we see Josh Smithness go wide, Nicholas Volkman looks to take the inside and will indeed do that. Very close driving here between these drivers, between Vapor Trench and Josh Smithness. Very close indeed. So Nicholas Volkman hangs on for now to a top 5 spot. Still anyone's guess who's going to take the podium, as we see Greeny will go ahead and pit here. And because this grid has stayed so tight, we're going to see Greeny lose a lot of positions. In fact, let's see where Greeny comes out of the pits. Looks like he's going to come out in 16th. So certainly maybe a little costly, as the only driver he'll be ahead of is Word Cloud. So deciding not to pit earlier on the safety car might cost Greeny. He's got some work to do. Of course, we all know he certainly has the pace to get it done. Meanwhile, Vapor Trench is looking to get a pass done on this back straight of Josh Smithness. Looks like it should be fairly easy. Josh Smithness will concede the outside as they go too wide. We'll have to see. Excellent job from Josh Smithness to hit the brake. Maybe lose a little bit of time, but avoids contact with Vapor Trench. So smart move by Josh Smithness. Certainly frustrating, I'm sure, to have that inside cut off. But excellent job to avoid contact. Good defensive driving from him. Meanwhile, we see Trilson and Red Sniper still going at it back and forth as each driver takes advantage of the DRS as the other one passes them. Meanwhile, we have seen Vapor Lazy pass Let's Get Fiscal. Let's Get Fiscal on those hard tires, not getting quite the pace that he would like to see. We'll have to see if he can maybe make up a little bit of time still on those hard tires, maybe hoping for another safety car. Although either way, he's probably going to have to pit if that safety car doesn't come very, very soon. Red Sniper has separated himself just a little bit. Up at the front, we still have a bit of a fight here between Vapor Cobalt and Big Baguette. About a half-second difference. But we will check back on this in a moment, because I think Vapor Lazy might be ready to get a pass done on Gourlay. We'll have to see as Trilson picks up another 3-second time penalty. Saw a bit of wing damage there. I'm not sure who that was from. They're on the track. Vapor Lazy rides right behind Gourlay as they come into past turn 7 into this home straight. DRS will be enabled for Vapor Lazy. He will do his best to get by Gourlay. It's going to be very, very close. Chooses to go for the inside. Interesting choice from Vapor Lazy, but it ends up being for the best. As we see, Gourlay has to concede that position. I really thought he was going to go for the inside move there, but he opts for the outside move. Manages to keep really, really nice pace. That was an excellent move from Vapor Lazy. Big kudos for that. I've got to say, very, very impressive driving from Vapor Lazy. We see Fiscal's now about 0.6 of a second back of Gourlay. Multi about the same distance behind Let's Get Fiscal. So we definitely have a bit of a train forming up between Vapor Lazy all the way down to Multi RABC. Let's take another peek up at the top of the table with Big Baguette still leading the way on Vapor Cobalt. And it looks like he's going to have the DRS, so we can definitely keep it close, can Vapor Cobalt. Big Baguette showing excellent pace as Greeny starts to make his way back up the grid. Now about 4 seconds back of Elian. Definitely will keep an eye on that. Unfortunately, Vapor Lazy does pick up a 3-second time penalty. Lots of penalties on this track, which is honestly not something I expected coming into it. But, you know, I guess it's very easy to take a turn a little too hard and either exceed or cut the track limits. Vapor Cobalt keeping it around a half second of Big Baguette. Certainly will continue to get the DRS as we go around. Meanwhile, Nicholas Volkmann slides up into third place, having passed Woolley. So excellent work from Nicholas Volkmann. Hopefully he can keep it going and earn a much-needed podium, or even just a top 10 finish to get some more points. As I said before, he's sitting currently on 23. We'll see these drivers go very close side by side. Excellent job through the turn of no contact, although they do touch wheels a couple of times there. We see Volkmann go wide. Oh, that's not what we wanted to see. Volkmann had to take that turn a little wide to avoid contact, and we will see Woolley head into the pits on those medium tires. And unfortunately, as he gets in the pits, he'll be clocked a little bit past the speed limit and earn a 5-second penalty. Bad luck for Woolley as he heads into the pits on those 11-lap-old mediums. Meanwhile, we still have the same top two, Vapor Cobalt, Big Baguette. Vapor Trench looks to chase down Vapor Cobalt, currently 5 seconds difference. Nicholas Volkmann is right on Vapor Trench. Red Sniper, meanwhile, about a half a second behind Nicholas Volkmann. And I. Trulson, in turn, also about a half second back. Vapor Lazy, I should say, who just picked up that penalty, is back a couple of seconds as well. Let's Get Fiscal back a couple seconds from Vapor Lazy. Still not quite getting the pace he needs on those now 12-lap-old hards. So we have seen Greeny make a couple of passes. Seems to mostly be all fellows that have headed into the pits. Still looking to track down Ian on those hard tires. We'll have to see what he can do. I certainly think that he would agree with me that not pitting under the safety car was a bit of a miscue. As we see Gourlay on the mediums, 12-lap-old mediums, I should say, trying to get by Let's Get Fiscal. Bit of shaky braking there from Gourlay. And it looks like Raven Fleming's favorite of Big Baguette, as we approach the halfway point of this race, now passing it, is still out there in first place. So Raven Fleming has to be very happy with how Big Baguette is performing on those 10-lap-old mediums. Meanwhile, we see Gourlay get passed by Multi-RABC. Bit of contact maybe as that pass was completed. Gourlay had to kind of waggle the wheels to keep it on the track. We take a look back at Nicholas Volkmann, who had that unfortunate bump with Woolley moments ago. As Raven says she's so happy to see Big Baguette out in first place. As he looks to earn his way back in to the top 5 proper, currently sitting in 5th. Looks like he'll have no trouble on the outside here. Ooh, hopefully avoiding contact. And indeed, very nice driving from these two as they manage to avoid each other in contact. And now we see Trulson join these drivers as they're still going too wide. And Nicholas Volkmann has gotten the pass done for now. And it looks like they're still battling it out, folks. It is very, very tight. Really solid racing from these drivers. And we'll see. Oh, you hate to see that. Red Sniper plows into Nicholas Volkmann, who's lucky to be spun all the way around and be able to get it back on the track, but I'm sure he's going to have some wing damage as he will head into the pits. Definitely did not want to see that from Red Sniper, as that's really unfortunate. I'm going to have to watch that back, but it definitely looked like Red Sniper could have done more to avoid that collision there. Meanwhile, back to the top, Vapor Cobalt still about a half second back of Big Baguette. These two are on the same tire composite, the same lap old, so they will probably be waiting. Vapor Cobalt will probably wait for Big Baguette to pit, and will probably, I would imagine, pit with him. We'll have to wait and see. Lots of penalties here in France. Usually don't see that sort of thing with as wide as this track is. Gourlay, meanwhile, must have been pushed off into the wall. And we have a virtual safety car As we see, yes, Gourlay over on the right there. Looks like he lost it through turn 7, maybe. Bad luck for Gourlay. Yeah, Volkman, as we saw, get spun out, Isaac. That's definitely not what we wanted to see. But we will have a virtual safety car that has already lifted. And we are back to racing. Greeny has gotten the pass done on Elian, meanwhile. Moves up to 10th place. Really unfortunate for Gourlay, because I thought he had run up to the point a very good race. And unfortunately just sends it into the wall out of turn 7. Very disappointing for him. Meanwhile, we have gotten a little bit more spread out here on this grid. Our closest points of contention is Multi trying to get past Let's Get Fiscal, and up at the top with Vapor Cobalt and Big Baguette. And we'll see if Multi can pass Let's Get Fiscal. Again, Let's Get Fiscal not really getting the pace I think that he's used to getting. I don't know what exactly the issue is. He's, of course, on those hard tires, and now they've gotten up to be about 15 laps old. So certainly could be part of the reason why he's maybe not getting the pace that he would want. But anyway, we'll revisit that in a little bit. Let's go back up to the top. These two drivers fighting for P1 and 2. Only 0.3 of a second now between them, as Vapor Cobalt refuses to let Big Baguette really get any space. And Big Baguette, of course, is putting on that defensive clinic, keeping Vapor Cobalt in check. These top 3 drivers all on 12-lap-old mediums, so we will probably see a pit, I would imagine, in the next 2 to 3 laps from those drivers. Definitely will keep an eye on it. Wouldn't surprise me if we see Big Baguette and Vapor Cobalt go into the pits before Vapor Trench, but we'll keep an eye on that. As we see Vapor Cobalt with very low ERS. Big Baguette, part of the reason why he's able to fend off Vapor Cobalt even through the DRS zones is a vastly superior store of the ERS. And it looks like with that, Big Baguette might be able to start putting some separation between himself and Vapor Cobalt. We'll have to see. We do have a bit of close racing here with Greeny having passed Pachensky. Now looks to get past Multi, RABC, and Let's Get Fiscal. Perhaps we might see a double overtake here from Greeny. Certainly no driver is more capable than he. We'll have to see what he can manage to get done as we head through the home straight here. We do see Multi heading onto the inside. Looks like he'll be able to get past Let's Get Fiscal. Greeny will have to wait for now. Excellent pass there from Multi-RABC. Greeny looks to take the outside from Let's Get Fiscal. Could see some close contact between these drivers here, as Greeny, Let's Get Fiscal, and Multi-RABC are very, very close. Greeny riding those tires of Multi-RABC has gotten the pass down on Let's Get Fiscal. Let's see if he can also get a move done on Multi-RABC, with Vachensky now joining that train as well. Very, very close between these drivers. We'll have to see if Greeny can get the move done on Multi-RABC. He does. Gets it done on the inside in time to get back and take the best point of attack of that corner. Showing off why you can never rule out Greeny. Really showing off some very nice racing. Still a lot of work to do, but he is on relatively new 8-lap-old hards. I would imagine he's going to try to take these all the way to the end of the race. And if so, he might be the only driver here in the top 6 that won't need to pit. Could be really interesting to keep an eye on, especially because Greeny, even on those hard tires, is showing off his very impressive pace. Meanwhile, we have a battle here between Trulson and Red Sniper. Let's see who's going to come out on top of this one. as these two drivers are heading into turns 12 and 13, which we'll have to see if Trulson can get a pass done on Red Sniper into this home straight. And that is turn 15 into our home straight. DRS is activated. Trulson's going to look. Oh, and we do see Big Baguette and Vapor Cobalt both deciding to pit. Vapor Trench, meanwhile, pitted the previous lap onto medium tires. So a bit of a bold move from Vapor Trench to do the pit a lap earlier. But we will see Greeny slip up into 4th. Let's Get Fiscal is up in 5th for now. He will have to pit again. So without a safety car, we'll see Let's Get Fiscal slide back quite a few positions when he does pit. Meanwhile, we have this battle here for first between Red Sniper and Trulson, with Vapor Lazy currently in 3rd. And Greeny will look to catch up to Vapor Lazy, as he'll try to close the gap on this straight. Unfortunately, it was just outside of a second, non-earning DRS here. Word Cloud picks up another 3-second time penalty. Certainly not the type of race that he was wanting. I have a feeling coming into Sector 3 now here that Greeny will certainly have the DRS for a pass through this home straight. We'll have to see if he manages to get it done. Looks like he's probably going to hold off. Worried Cloud now picks up a 10-second time penalty for corner cutting. Worried Cloud is certainly not having a good race, at least from a penalty standpoint. As we come up through this, we see Red Sniper will head into those pits. Trulson will stay out. Vapor Lazy heads into the pits as well. So Greeny will slide all the way up into P2 now. Oh, I'm sorry, that was Lazy that headed into the pits. So we still have Red Sniper and Trulson out on those relatively old hards. And we see Vapor Trench set a fastest lap here. Let's see where Vapor Lazy comes out of the pits, as he will give it a go just behind Worried Cloud and in front of Vichensky. So bit of a position drop for Vapor Lazy, but he is now on the softs that he'll be able to take to the end of the lap. Big Baguette also on those soft tires in 5th as he pulls a move on multi-R ABC, and it looks like it will indeed get it done. He's got a lot of time to make up on those soft tires, but really I would say it's between Big Baguette and Greeny, because Trulson and Red Sniper both will have to pit, I would imagine. So Big Baguette will have to do his best to close that roughly 3.5 second gap between himself and Greeny. Of course, Big Baguette is on the much softer composite tires, and we do see Worried Cloud leave the session after accruing 20 plus seconds of penalty, I believe. So yes, he will go ahead and exit the match. Hopefully we'll see a better performance out of Worried Cloud next week. And we do see now pit from Trulson. Let's Get Fiscal also will go ahead and pit on those 19-lap-old hards. Red Sniper, though, will keep it on the track for now on his 17-lap-old hards. We'll have to see what he manages to get done there. Red Sniper, of course, with some penalties in hand as well. It looks like our drivers 2 through 5 are both relatively scotch-free penalty-wise. Big Baguette has now cut Greeny's lead down to about 2.5 seconds. Let's take a look at Vapor Trench as he looks to pull a move down on multi-RABC through this back straight. Looks like he's going to have no problem getting that inside move done, and Vapor Trench will now get to work on Vapor Cobalt. Vapor Lazy looks to chase down Josh Smithness through this back straight. As we see Wooly pick up a 3-second time penalty. I believe that's his second penalty. And, you know, Fiscal was hoping to get back on track after falling outside the top 10 last week. It doesn't look like he's really going to be able to. He is on soft tires, so we'll see if he can get something done. But he certainly has a lot of work to do if he wants to see points here in France. Vapor Lazy, meanwhile, very, very close. Red Sniper we see finally pit. Bit of contact there between Vapor Lazy and Josh Smith. Maybe a bit of a late break from Vapor Lazy. And very, very close, as Big Baguette is now about a second and a half back on Greeny. And Vapor Lazy will receive that DRS and very easily get by Josh Smithness. Red Sniper, meanwhile, will come back out on the track in 10th place on soft tires that he will look to take the rest of the way. Big Baguette is really the only person who's going to be able to challenge Greeny, I think, here for first. It's very much, I would imagine, a two-man race between Big Baguette and Greeny, unless, you know, something crazy happens. So, Raven Fleming, you'll need to root just a little harder for Big Baguette, who still has to make up about a second on Greeny through these last 5 laps. See if Big Baguette can get it done and earn his first place finish of the season in this 9th race, I believe we are on in Bette, Jalle, Season 8. Big Baguette now closes that gap to under a second. So certainly something that could be got done. Meanwhile, if we take a peek down here at Let's Get Fiscal, on those soft tires, doing his best to chase down the medium-tired Vachensky. We're all trusting in you, Miss Fleming, to send good vibes to Big Baguette, who looks to chase down Greeny. Greeny, meanwhile, looks to turn in his 4th consecutive first or second place finish. As we see Trulson set a fastest lap. Good work from Trulson there. Vapor Lazy and Red Sniper look like they're in a bit of a competition here for P8. Red Sniper did get the best of Vapor Lazy there, but I would not be shocked to see Vapor Lazy respond in turn as we see them head through the end of this first sector into Sector 2. Nicholas Volkman, meanwhile, picks up a 3-second time penalty. Nicholas Volkman with really bad luck earlier. Red Sniper, unfortunately, spinning out Nicholas Volkman, sending him into the pits. Definitely not the kind of finish that Nicholas Volkman was looking for. It looked like he had a really good chance at a top 5 finish, and then bad luck with the contact between him and Red Sniper. And let's take another peek up at the top, where we see Big Baguette doing his best to just chase down Greeny in pursuit of those 25 points. Would certainly be big for Mr. Baguette, as he missed out on an opportunity for points last week, which cost him quite a big gap. I believe he was only a couple points back on our leaders. And I think 2 weeks ago he might have been at the top of the table, if my memory serves, which it doesn't always. As Big Baguette has narrowed this gap now inside of 0.8 of a second. And we will go ahead and keep it right here. Also keep an eye on that grid to the left with Red Sniper chasing down Wooly. Might be able to switch to that in a little while, but for now I just want to see what kind of finish we got for us here between these two, as Greeny on those hard tires is probably losing vital milliseconds here through all of these turns, and Big Baguette looks to capitalize on it. Still back about a half of a second. And we will take a peek down at Red Sniper as he looks to get by Wooly. As we see a yellow flag in Sector 2, a safety car. That was Elian Beyond, who looks to have found the wall. And ladies and gentlemen, we are going to have one hell of a finish for you here, as we will have a safety car. Greeny's going to have to try to hold off Big Baguette on these hard tires as... Oh, Greeny picks up a drive-through penalty for speeding under the safety car. Wow, that is costly, as now he'll have to spend some time. Oh my gosh, KJ picks up a 10-second penalty. I don't know what exactly happened there. That is really bad luck. Greeny might do his best to... He passes the safety car. I'm not sure what Greeny's doing, honestly. Because the safety car... wow, Greeny gets disqualified from the session for ignoring the yellow flags. What happened there, ladies and gentlemen? I honestly don't know. Wow. Green must have been really frustrated for that drive-through penalty, and he will retire from the session. Wow. So that safety car by Elian had absolute ramifications. That'll certainly be something to discuss. I'm sure Greeny's got to be absolutely livid. And now we'll have a sprint in the last lap or two once the safety car goes off between Big Baguette, Vapor Cobalt, and Vapor Trench. That has certainly shaken up everything. Wow. And I think, Big Baguette on those 6-lap-old softs will hopefully have the pace to finish strong, as it looks like our safety car will be heading off this lap. And we will have a 2-lap sprint to hand out a trophy here in France. Shocking as Greeny gets disqualified for ignoring yellow flags after picking up a drive-through penalty for speeding under the safety car. I'm not sure if that was just out of frustration that he decided he didn't want to be a party to this particular race. Just really, really shocking. To see Greeny receive that disqualification. Meanwhile, we see KJ also will DNF after picking up that 10-second penalty. Looks like he's had enough of France, and we'll look forward to next week as we'll see Big Baguette get a really nice restart on Vapor Cobalt. We'll have to see if Vapor Cobalt can hang with Big Baguette here through these last couple of races. Very, very tight here up at the top. Top four all separated by about 2 seconds total. Certainly going to see a couple of drivers that maybe aren't as accustomed to getting points in the points this week. Woolley, of course, looks like he will receive points for sure. Trulson will grab some much-needed points as well. And of course, our top three, remember coming into this race, I wanted to let you guys know to keep an eye on Vapor Trench, who currently is in 5th in the table with 77 points, but always has the pace to make something happen. As we will head through the final sector of this penultimate lap. And certainly it looks like we have... It's honestly anyone's race here, I would imagine, through these top four racers. Trulson's going to have to try his best to keep pace with these big dogs, Big Baguette, Vapor Cobalt, and Vapor Trench. Vapor Trench does have a penalty, as does Trulson. So, not entirely sure how the podium's going to shake out. This is our final lap, though. And we have a yellow flag in Sector 3, as Multi-RABC will not finish this race either. Vapor Lazy picks up a 3-second time penalty. So we see 7 DNFs or disqualifications this week following last week where we had 8, as we see Red Sniper pick up a 3-second time penalty. So hopefully the league as a whole can just shake off this bad juju between the last couple of weeks, and we'll see a better showing next week with maybe less disqualifications. As we see Vapor Trench is looking like he's struggling gas-wise. Big Baguette should cruise, I would imagine, to this victory. Woolley, meanwhile, looks like he had some bad luck, gets spun out, and will not get any points. So I spoke too soon on Woolley. Vapor Trench, meanwhile, goes neck and neck with Vapor Cobalt, gets the pass done. Both of these drivers running very low on fuel. Trulson might try to take advantage through this last turn or two to slide in. We'll stay here. Big Baguette will get the win in France. We'll have to see if Trulson can slide up past Vapor Cobalt or Vapor Trench with these two drivers having some fuel issues. Red Sniper will also be in the running here. Wow, what a finish there. Very, very close. As we'll see, for now, Big Baguette is the winner. Vapor Cobalt in second. Josh Smithness, because of penalties, moves up into third place. Wow, that's incredible. Vapor Trench back only 5 thousandths of a second. Misses the podium by 5 thousandths of a second. Wow. Back of Josh Smithness. Let's Get Fiscal somehow manages to turn in a 5th place finish in this race. Definitely not sure if I saw that coming. Let's Get Fiscal with that 5th place finish. Yeah, I would imagine Josh Smithness certainly earns my Driver of the Day nod for turning in a podium race, edging out Vapor Trench by 5 thousandths of a second. That's what happens, folks, when you don't accrue those penalties. You never know what can happen when you have that late safety car. And Josh Smithness will enjoy a little bit of champagne with Big Baguette and Vapor Cobalt. So excellent job from our top 3 drivers. Excellent job from all of our drivers. Had a lot of fun here in France. I hope you folks did too. And Miss Fleming must be so excited to see Big Baguette get the win here in France. He manages to shake off that DNF from Canada and turns in a great result here in France. So, ladies and gentlemen, this has been Ben Silver on the mic. I am Zerios. And, folks, this is me telling you that I'll see you on Sunday. And until then, see ya.